she's the original queen of disco, would you say? She's the original. From Newark, New Jersey, and going back to the beginning, Honeybee, Never Can Say Goodbye. How about the release of Casanova Brown, those days doing the Motown, Reach Out, I'll Be There. When I was a DJ in the 70s, we couldn't wait for her to release a new tune. And I want you to meet her right now. Would you meet the original queen of disco, Gloria Gaynor?
Hello, everybody. Good to see you all. Wonderful.
You ready?
I am very ready.
Ready? You having a good time?
Having a great time.
Aren't they great people on the cruise?
Oh, yeah.
Fabulous
the audience
people.
Last night was amazing.
All right, we're going to get started, and we're going to take questions later, maybe?
Yeah.
Well, right now.
Yeah,
I want you to take us through the challenging months in your life that led up to your recording of I Will Survive. Songwriters and producers Dino Ficaris and Freddie Perrin, who I also knew.
Well, I had been performing. I was performing on stage, and I had this skit in my group with my two background singers, male background singers. They were on one side of the stage. I'd be on the other side. I would take the microphone like that and whip the cord, and they would go over to the other side of the stage. They would catch it, and we did this tug of war. Well, they caught it, but they didn't hold it. So when I pulled back on it, I fell backwards over the monitor. I jumped back up. I finished my show. I was fine. I did the show. We went out to breakfast after the show and all that. Went home, went to bed, woke up the next morning paralyzed from the waist down. So, of course, I ended up in hospital, and I was there for some months, and the record company called me and said that they were not going to renew my contract. People were going around the company saying the Queen is dead, and it was bleak. But I was faithful. I was praying and asking God, what are you going to do? I don't have a job. I don't know where I'm going. Don't know what I'm going to do. And but I went home secure in the belief that God was going to do something. I just didn't know what. Anyway, the record company finally called me and said, we're not going to end your contract. We have a new president over from England where, as you know, you're quite popular. He wants you to make a hit out of a song that he's already had a hit with in England. So they sent me out to L.A. to record that song with Dino Ficaris and Freddie Perrin. And as we were recording this song called Substitute, I said to them, what's going to be the B-side? You remember that years ago. It was a 45 record, an A-side and a B-side. And they said, well, what kind of songs do you like? I said, well, I like songs that are meaningful, that have good lyrics, that touch people's hearts, that have good melodies. They said, wow, we think you're the one we've been waiting for to record this song that we wrote 2 years ago. So I've always believed that God said to them, look, sit down and write this song here and just hold on to it. I'm going to send you somebody.
All right.
Yeah. So, I recorded the song. I'm looking at the lyrics. I'm like, what are you, stupid? You're going to put this on the B-side? Seriously? And so they put it on the B-side, and
Let me add to that.
yeah.
I was working at the radio station in 1978, around December, and the promotion man brought me a song. And he said, oh, you got to play this. The company's hot on this, called Substitute. I put it on, and it was okay. I said, I like to play B-side, so I flipped it over. I said, this is an anthem. This is it. This is the national anthem. And they're like, no, they want Substitute. It's their song. Yeah. I flipped it over and played it for the first. I was the first DJ in America to play that song. And she can attest to it.
Yeah.
In 1978. And we did the tip sheets, and we said, Substitute's great, but flip it over. I Will Survive. And, wow.
Yeah.
Song of the year in 79, right?
Well, thank God for him, because when I took it to the record company and told them that, because when I'm reading the lyrics, I'm asking them whether they said, well, that's the deal we have, I go to the record company with it, they won't listen to it, and I'm like, this is a timeless lyric. Everybody will be able to relate to this. So
It
again,
was
make
business
my
for
feel.
them.
Yeah.
But for
yeah,
me,
yeah.
it was all about the music.
Yeah, well, see, they got to get a load of the idea that for the people, it's all about the music.
Right? You took it to Studio 54 with Richie Kazor.
Yes.
Was a great DJ, friend of mine. He used to come and hear me play in Wildwood. We would go to Studio 54 and him play. So it was great times.
Yes, great
Now,
times.
there's so many interpretations of that song. What do those lyrics of I Will Survive mean to you?
Oh, over the years, they've come to mean so much to me. At that time, of course, it was surviving the fall that I had, but it was also surviving my mother's death. My mother had passed away just a few years before that, something I never thought I'd survive. Just, different things. When my marriage ended, I did a marathon version of I Will Survive. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it means to me, the song celebrates the tenacity of the human spirit. And it just really.
Wow. Are you surprised it's become an anthem for men, women, everybody?
I'm not surprised at
All
all
people
because,
around
as
the
I
world.
said, everybody would be able to relate to it. We're all, at some time in our lives, sometimes during our lives, going through difficult times that we think might be insurmountable and hope we'll survive.
All right. You performed I Will Survive at the 30th anniversary concert for Michael Jackson
Yes.
at Madison Square Garden in New York.
That was
I met
wonderful.
Michael a couple times in Philly. Since few knew him,
Yeah.
I was probably one of them that knew him a little bit. What was he really like?
He was a sweetheart. Very, very sweet. I first met him at a party. And at that party, I saw several sides of him because when I first met him, he was a Michael Jackson superstar. Great, it was great to meet him. He was pleased to meet me and all of that. And we chatted for a while and everything. And then he sat down. He had some drinks at this party. It was a dinner party. He had a few drinks, and he was sitting on a couch by himself. I'm sitting on the other side of the room, and I look across, and Michael, there's a thing of jelly beans. He picks a jelly bean, and he throws it across the room, and then he turns around. He hits somebody with the jelly bean, and he turns around like, I'm looking at him. The person is looking to see who hit them with this jelly bean. And when they stop, he turns around, he flicks it at another person, another one at another person. I'm saying, he's a child. He's a kid. But then, as the evening went on, someone came in with a little boy. And he brought the little boy over to him, and I thought, wow, why are they, maybe this kid's a Michael Jackson fan. It was his son. And he sat down beside him, and he's talking to his dad, and someone offered him some of the jelly beans, and he looked up and he says, I'm not allowed. I said, he's a good parent. He teaches his kid not to eat sweets, And so, like I said, I saw several sides of Michael that night. And so I think he was just like a really complicated, multifaceted person. I heard from many people that if he hired you and you didn't do good on your job, that instead of firing you, he would try to find another job that suited you better. So compassionate as well.
Well, and my experiences will endorse that. It was the same with me.
Yeah.
My short time that I met him. In December of 2013, you published your second book. Your first was your autobiography.
Yes.
And the second book focused on 40 stories of people from around the world who had their lives impacted by I Will Survive.
Right.
This book is entitled We Will Survive. True stories of encouragement, inspiration, and the power of song. And included your personal story of survival.
Yeah. Great opportunity to share with the world the stories of different people and bring them hope and encouragement. Because I thought when we came up with the idea for the book, my feeling was people are inspired by this song, but how much more inspirational will it be if you're reading the story of someone that's going through what you're going through, or maybe something even worse, and yet they've come out the other side victorious. So I think, yeah, it's time for me to share this inspiration with the world. So we did the book, and it's still available on Amazon.
Get a copy.
Yeah.
How did you choose the 40 stories that are in the book?
It was really difficult because we got lots and lots of stories, and all of them were worthy. So I got together with my manager, Stephanie Gold, and my uh, co-author, Sue Carswell, and we decided that if all three of us thought a story was good, then we would use it. If we didn't all three agree, then we didn't use it. So we were able with that to whittle it down to 40 stories.
Which story in the book touched you the most?
I think the one that touched me the most was a little African kid. He was, I think, 7 years old and living in a village in Africa. And these people came through who were what they call a guerrilla group. I guess they just go around fighting. Anyway, they came to the village, and he had left going somewhere to do an errand for his parents. When he came back, they had gathered up the whole village, made them dig a pit and stand around the pit. And they were asking them where were these people that they were looking for, this other group of fighters. And they didn't know, they had no idea. But if they said they didn't know, they were shot and fell into the thing. And he watched his mother, father, and his younger, he's 7, he watched his younger sister all be murdered, the whole village murdered, and to this thing. And then he ran away and eventually was found by another family. And he said it took him a long time to allow them to love him the way they wanted to. And then he heard the song, I Will Survive. And
Wow.
that lifted him.
Now, you've included the words, the power of song,
Yes.
in your book title. We were just talking about that.
Yes.
Why do you think that music and song are so impactful in persons' lives?
Well, you know, I think music is meant to be powerful. God has the angels sing for him. We're told from the Bible that when we get to heaven, we'll be singing. So obviously, singing is important to God. Obviously, he knows he's created this to lift us up, to build us up, to encourage us, to inspire us, to do all of the things that we want to do for one another. It can be done through music.
Let me ask you another thing. Is it true that the audiobook version of We Will Survive received a Grammy nomination for
Yes.
Best Spoken Word Album in 2015?
Yes, it was
Wow.
nominated, but unfortunately, Joan Rivers had the nerve to die just before.
That's okay.
So
I voted for you.
that might not be the only reason her book won, but for whatever reason,
Wait
mine
a minute.
didn't.
That year you were a presenter at the 2015 Grammy Awards and headlining performer at the celebration,
Yes.
the official Grammy after party following the awards telecast.
Yeah. That was wonderful.
How'd you survive such a long day?
Oh, with great difficulty. Let me tell you, I had on these shoes, ladies. Can we talk?
Yep.
Had on these shoes. They were fierce. Fierce. But they hurt my feet fiercely. So it was a long day. I had to stop and change my shoes in the middle of the day. But it was a wonderful day because I met so many artists, so many actors, so much other talent, singers, and it was a wonderful day. I had a great time, and at the party, they partied.
Of course.
They partied. And they danced to and actually sang with me one of the songs that I'll be singing, that I sang last night from my forthcoming gospel album. They danced to it. They were singing it. My friend said, how did they learn the song? I said, they just learned it while I'm singing it. So it's that kind of song. I hope you'll enjoy it.